Why does the universe follow mathematical rules so precisely? And why is mathematics itself understandable, elegant, and universally applicable? Hello and welcome to our video series on the existence of God, where we explore questions and topics related to God's existence and also arguments for and against God's existence. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the argument for God's existence from mathematics. It's going to be very interesting. I would like to begin by quoting Albert Einstein, and I quote, "The most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible," end quote. Einstein's observation points to a fundamental mystery, and that is, why can human minds grasp the universe using the language of mathematics? This becomes even more perplexing when we consider that mathematics is an abstract field consisting of immaterial concepts that exist outside of space, time, and matter. These mathematical truths, for example, like the non-repeating nature of pi and the consistency of prime numbers, for example, they're all constant and universal. They are prompting deeper questions about their connection to reality. Now, I would like to explore the argument for God's existence from mathematics in three related but distinct perspectives. Firstly, the applicability of mathematics to the physical world. Secondly, the very existence of mathematical truths. And finally, the universal intelligibility of mathematics. Now, let's take a look at each of them briefly. Firstly, the applicability of mathematics. Now, as mentioned earlier, precise mathematical laws govern the workings of the universe. Phenomena like gravity, electromagnetism, and thermodynamics are all dictated by mathematical equations that describe their behavior with remarkable accuracy. Nobel laureate Eugene Wigner described this phenomenon as the, and I quote, "unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics," end quote. According to Wigner, and I quote, "the enormous usefulness of mathematics in the natural sciences is something bordering on the mysterious, and there is no rational explanation for it," end quote. Now think about this. Why should abstract mathematical constructs which are developed in human minds correspond perfectly to the workings of the physical universe? Why does an equation like Newton's F is equal to ma describe the relationship between force, mass, and acceleration? The remarkable correspondence between the abstract world of mathematics and the physical universe is too precise to be a simple accident. The most logical explanation is that they both come from the same origin. Second, the existence of mathematical truths. Mathematical truths like 2 plus 2 equals 4, the characteristics of prime numbers, and the irrationality of pi, they all exist outside the constraints of time, space, and matter. These truths are not dependent on the physical universe or human intellect. To illustrate this, the value of pi is same whether it's calculated by an ancient Roman or a Chinese or an Indian. In short, mathematical truths are universally applicable, they are inherently necessary, and they're eternally valid. Now the key question is, what is the source of all these mathematical truths? There are three possible alternatives: mathematical Platonism, naturalism, or theism. The philosophical view of Platonism firstly posits that mathematical truths reside in a non-physical abstract space. Now, although this idea accounts for independence and permanence of mathematics, it does not address the fundamental question of why such a realm exists. Platonism provides no ultimate explanation for where these truths come from or why they apply so well to the physical universe. Naturalism, on the other hand, they deny the independent existence of mathematical truths, reducing them to just human inventions or useful fictions. However, if you think about it, this view fails to explain the universality of mathematics. Why should concepts like prime numbers or geometric theorems hold true across cultures and time periods if they are just human constructs? But theism, unlike Platonism and naturalism, they offer a strong explanation, and that is, mathematical truths exist because they are rooted in God's intellect. Being eternal and unchanging, these truths reflect God's own attributes, His logical nature, consistency, and transcendence. Philosopher Alvin Plantinga beautifully explains this, and I quote, "Abstract objects such as numbers and sets are best understood as ideas in the mind of God. They are dependent on Him for their existence but independent of the physical world." End quote. By proposing that mathematical truths have their source in God's intellect, theism establishes a firm foundation for why these truths exist and why they are applicable to the universe. Finally, the intelligibility of mathematics. Mathematics is not just applicable everywhere, it is also understandable by everyone. Throughout history and across different cultures, independent thinkers have reached the same mathematical understandings. This universal intelligibility prompts a key question. Why can rational beings comprehend mathematics? And why is the human mind specifically capable of grasping it? Neuroscientist Mario Livio correctly writes, and I quote, "Why is the human brain capable of discovering the laws of mathematics which are so perfectly suited for explaining the universe? It is as though the universe knew we were coming." End quote. Theism, I believe, provides a logical explanation. Because humans are created to reflect God's nature, they share in His rationality and possess the ability to understand the order He established in creation. As Oxford mathematician John Lennox explains, and I quote, "The correspondence between human rationality and the structure of the universe is best explained by the fact that both derive from the same ultimate source, which is the mind of God." End quote. The fact that we can understand the universe mathematically points to a God who is not remote but actively invites us to investigate His creation through this means. So in sum, God is the best explanation for the applicability of mathematics to the physical world, the very existence of mathematical truths, and the universal intelligibility of mathematics. Galileo famously declared, and I quote, "Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe." End quote. I personally love how the famous 17th century German astronomer Johannes Kepler captured these truths beautifully. And I quote, "The chief aim of all the investigations of the external world should be to discover the rational order and harmony which has been imposed on it by God, and which He revealed to us in the language of mathematics." End quote. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and enjoy content such as this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share it around. See you in the next episode, and God bless you.